Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Swans podcast. Once again, joined by Lee.
Hello. How we
Welcome
doing?
back. Got your Wales top on. Very appropriate for the
Switched over now.
current calendar. Maybe weird though. Weird having that on this time of year now. Not usually
it is
even
weird.
any international breaks going into like Christmas, is there?
It is just such a weird season. It just hasn't hit me the Wales are going to the World Cup because it's been so. It just
I know
doesn't seem to have had a big build up. I think this week will be a good build up. I think up until the weekend.
I know it's just so frustrating in it. The one that they obviously everyone's happy to go in, but it's like the controversial one, isn't it? It's the times of the games is all weird. It's all carnage about the fans being out there. There's all controversy in there, like they're paying fans to like support teams.
Yeah.
I was sort of into the other day that apparently some family that lives local has just been given like 20 tickets to go to 20 different games because like they can't sell them all or no one's going.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing happened with someone that I work with. They've got family members who live in Qatar, and yeah, they said the same. It's crazy. And I watched the FIFA documentary on Netflix. That was brilliant. I was hooked. I watched the first episode and I ended up watching them all in one night.
Yeah,
it was brilliant. It was all about like behind the scenes and how it ended up being Russia and Qatar.
Stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, I'm sure the World Cup will be good to watch it, but it's just like so much conflicts in there. Like some of the like sport personalities and people that would normally go out for entertainment purposes, like they don't know whether they should do it normally because of the circumstances behind the country. And I don't want to get too much into the politics right now because I'm not going to say I'm necessarily the most clued up on all of it. But just to watch all these people that would normally be so involved having a moral conflict, and I guess the players and the teams themselves as well. Like USA have done something, haven't they, where they've changed their badge to like the pride rainbow colors. Have you seen that?
No, I didn't. That's fair play.
Not on their kits, but like everything around like their camp and any press conferences and any use of the badge outside the kit. They've changed the like red stripes down the middle to the pride colors to try and make a statement because of the I guess the rights for that community out there are not where they should be.
I like that. I think
obviously they're just trying to raise that in a way that it's on the stage, isn't it? Then
yeah, I think England said that Harry Kane's going to wear like a rainbow captain's armband.
I think that's better though than like the argument of like, well, boycott it if you're against it. Like, it's not good enough. I always think going and making a statement on the cameras out there is better. I think personally, because you're using the audience, you're using the platform then to show the audience what should change, and that's when the people who are in charge might take notice. Whereas if you just don't turn up, they can just like kind of carry on as if like there's a need to care. That's what I think anyway. So it's good to see some of these little things. I'm sure there'll be a lot more, but I'm sure there'll be stuff to talk about as the World Cup progresses. So for today's podcast anyway, we are going to slightly talk about the World Cup. We're going to talk about we're going to kind of do like a little mini prediction where we're going to try and pick the winners for the group stages. And then I guess we can go further and see how right we get it by the end. So that'll be a little bit of fun. Don't think our Championship League table one's going too well, but we need to check in on that at some point. But maybe we'll do a bit better this time. And then we'll also touch on the Swans, of course. We're going to talk about the run going into this break now, where they stand, kind of like, it's not quite halfway, is it? But it sort of is. So we're going to talk about where we are halfway into the season, and we might touch a little bit on perhaps we can touch on that first. Actually, Lee, you said you've been watching the Ronaldo interview. Now I've seen the clips here and there, and it only came out last night, so I haven't managed to watch it yet. And part 2 is tonight as of recording, so only half of it's actually available. But we might talk about that because that seems like a big topic at the moment and what's on everyone's lips. So it'd be interesting to see the views on that, and I guess in the comments as well. If anyone can let us know, like, what's your opinion on Ronaldo and his situation at Man United? Who's in the wrong? Is it him? Is it the club? I don't know. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Like, it's just a massive deal. I never expected a Piers Morgan interview.
It's weird. It's weird for like a football interview, isn't it? That it's like a really sort of one-on-one serious interview. I found that really strange. I
Yeah,
think that's just.
the other
I
day,
guess that's
'cause
how big he is.
that was controversy the other day in Andrew Tate, and that was a big thing. And I was like, oh, he's got Ronaldo next.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It was interesting to hear what he said, like just to get his point of view, because I guess it's fair enough in a way. It's a bit weird, but he was getting so much stick in that time that I guess how does he defend himself really? How does he bite back? I guess I don't necessarily agree with the way he's done it. It's kind of seems like he's thrown his toys at the pram a little bit, but I mean, if some of the stuff he says is true, then I can't really blame him. He's got to get his side of the story out because he was getting slated a little bit at the beginning of this year, but more so last year. He was getting a hell of a time, wasn't he? All the pundits slating him, all the media slating him. I think you've got to have a voice
This
back,
season
hasn't
has
he?
been bad, hasn't it? Like because of the whole preseason thing.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, he was saying a lot of the reason he didn't go was because of the stuff with his family and the kids and like his baby. He had twins, didn't he? And one of them didn't make it, and then the other one was quite ill.
Yeah, people forget that side of it because I was guilty of it myself. I forgot that happened because then they talked about it, and I was like, oh, I forgot. It doesn't. But with footballers, it's like, oh, that was the news story at the time, and it all came out to me like, oh, that's really bad. And then a couple of months down the line, it's sort of forgotten then, isn't it? It's like, oh, well, he's not playing well. Like, why is he not playing well? But like, he doesn't just get over that. So you kind of see the human side of it. So yeah, I don't know.
Top goal scorer last year.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I enjoyed it in a weird way. It's just nice to get it from another side, get it from another angle, like from a player saying,
yeah,
we've wondered. I guess we've all wondered for years, like why Man United haven't got back to the top, and the stuff that he's saying they're so far behind, like other clubs, and they've just sort of stuck in time. I mean, it all makes sense. And I thought I quite enjoyed it. I'm going to watch part 2 tonight.
Yeah, I think you got to like listen to the pinch of salt as well, though. From his perspective, is probably biased, and then you hear the club perspective is going to be biased the other side, and you kind of perhaps got to make a judgment that meets halfway.
Yeah.
And I don't think necessarily either one of them is coming out of this situation looking good.
It's awful for like the club and the player, but for us, for entertainment, it's great.
Yeah. I do kind of feel a bit like, I don't know, how would you get in this situation with such a good player? You might think other people are better. There's the argument, Messi, Ronaldo, but regardless, he's one of the best players in the world. His goal scoring record is like insane. How do you end up in this situation? I just don't get it. Like, it's crazy, really.
Yeah, it seemed like, because when he first came back, it seemed like it was going well. But then I think from the interview, it seemed like when the results started to deteriorate and then they sacked Solskjaer, I think that's it all went downhill from there then for him as well. I think it just never recovered from that.
Yeah, he said about Ranieric, didn't he? Saying like it was a weird thing to bring him in as director of football. What did he get brought in as?
Well, yeah, he got brought in as like manager, but then with a view that at the end of the season he would be director of football. It was weird, to be fair.
Questioning that when he's saying like everyone was laughing, not just him in the club, like everyone across the world thought it was a bit of a joke. Yeah, I mean, I don't get why they didn't sell him in the summer, to be honest. I don't understand.
I don't know if anybody came in today. I don't know if anybody wanted him.
Well, it's just everywhere. He's going to go to Chelsea now, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can again. It's funny with the timing, though, isn't it? Like obviously, the World Cup now. It came out that the interview was happening like hours after they finished the game against Fulham, wasn't it? Which was their last game before the break. And it's like it's perfect timing because he's like it's obviously part of him trying to get out of the club, isn't it?
Oh, he knows he is getting out, and now he doesn't have to worry anymore about any repercussions.
I don't know
because they won't be kicking a ball away before. Well, there will be some games, but I guess he doesn't need to care about them when there's only 2 weeks left in December.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's just entertainment. I think let's just enjoy it, like you said. Take it with a pinch of salt. Both sides are biased. I think you can just imagine. I don't think they will, but imagine like Portugal going to win the World Cup. He scores a winner in the final. Just imagine that.
Yeah, he pulls his top off and it says like, "I'm joining Man City."
Can you just imagine that? You won't put it past him, would you? Like him dragging Portugal to win the World Cup.
Yeah. Is Ed Air there this time?
Yeah, I know.
No, but no, yeah, interesting. I saw him coming at like Rooney and Neville, didn't he? He was having a pop at them.
Yeah, I didn't really get that. Some of it seemed a bit staged, like, but
Some of it was weird though. When he's saying how good looking he is, and
yeah.
like I don't know, because that's
It's
where it's
weird.
like you might start having sympathy for some of his situation, and then you hear some of that, and you're just like, oh my god, he's so arrogant.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, well he is definitely. He's only he could do that interview. Like if anybody else does it, like it probably doesn't have as much hype, does it? And everybody just be like, oh, shut up. But
It's quite
I
funny
think
though.
he loves it.
I don't know, like all the sports, all the ones that get to the top, like or quite often or not, they have this sort of personality where it's just like anyone else at a lower level comes across like that. You're like deluded, arrogant, like idiots, basically. Like I don't watch so much of it now, but I've always enjoyed snooker. And you got Ronnie O'Sullivan, obviously the one at the top, and it's been. I think the world is it. There's some sort of championship this week, maybe the UK or Worlds. I can't remember. I think it's Worlds actually, but
Yeah.
there's a big event anyway. So he's been around the news and the headlines, and he just talks. Sometimes he just says stuff, and you're just like, why do you keep talking? Like, what's he saying? He's saying at the moment, like, he only plays because he gets bored. Otherwise, he doesn't actually care about like winning or losing, and he feels like it's more stressful. Like he's won 7 world titles, he'd go for the 8th one, and he's just like, I feel like I can't be asked to just turn up because like just because everyone be like, oh, will he get his 8th? It's like I don't care. I just want to like pass the time. It's just like he's meant to be the best snooker player in the world. So you got all these other players that are trying to get to his level that just haven't been able to for years and years, and he's saying stuff like that. Like just he's like, I turn up to some tournaments other times, so I can't be asked. I just won't bother. It's like I don't know. Just it's funny in it. I guess it's the entertainment value as well, but it's quite common trait I think in top athletes.
I think you've got to be to a certain extent, haven't you, to get to the like very top. I think you've got to have that edge, haven't you?
Like fully yourself and just. Like,
oh yeah, you've got to have a bit of that at the top. You've got to.
There's a bit of it in Formula One as well on the weekend with Max Verstappen. I don't know if you saw any of that. That's been all over the news this week.
No, I haven't seen it. I don't watch much of the F1 to be honest.
Oh, he just so he's won the world title already. Like, he's only one race left. It was the penultimate one was in Brazil last week, and he's like you said, he's already won it. He's like 200 points ahead at this point, or something ridiculous. Yeah, Red Bull have also won the constructors, which is the team one. There's 2 championships. They've both been wrapped up, right? His teammate is fighting for second place with another driver, and they had a bit of a poor race this week, so they were running in like 6th and 7th.
Yeah,
and his teammate was behind. Well, his teammate let him pass because the team said, all right, let him pass, see if he can move up a couple of positions. He didn't manage to overtake anyone. So but in the last lap, he was like, oh, if you can't get past them, right, give the position back because it helps his teammate essentially get more points to secure being second. And he was just like, nah, I'm not doing that. I told you why I'm not doing it. Don't ever ask me that again. Like, right. But there's more behind it. His teammate, like, as all last season, done a lot of stuff that's helped him win the 2 world championships in the last 2 years. Quite important stuff as well, right? Like, very helpful. And apparently there's something they're having a bit of a argument over from earlier in the season, and this was his way of getting back of him, but it just came across as so childish, and like people kicking off a lot about it. It didn't really look good on him, especially because he's like supposed to have shown a more mature side this season, and then this happens at the end of the season, and people are like, see, same person as he was before. Yeah, just childish, petty, but just funny to see as well. Get the popcorn out when stuff like that happens, because it all started kicking off afterwards.
What was it before? I remember a couple of years ago now. Was it? I can't remember what the team was. I'm sure one of them was Webster. Was it Australian?
Webber.
No.
Mark Webber.
Mark Webber. Yeah, no, Mark Webster. Mark Webster's the darts player. Mark Webber. Someone happened like they were the same team, and someone
it was Vettel and Webber. Yeah, it's pretty much it was that again.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because now what's happened is his teammate's gone into the last race on the same amount of points as this other driver, whereas if they had swapped positions, he would have been ahead.
Right.
So it's like, why would you just not do it? Like you've already won a world championship. You're already cleared by 200 points. You weren't getting a podium anyway or nothing like that. You were fighting for 6th and 7th place. Like, so it's just a bit stupid, honestly. But it's funny.
I don't know. I not that I'm that clued up on it, but like it's kind of an individual. Even though they're in teams,
Yeah, it
it's kind of an
is.
individual thing.
And if that was the attitude all the time, I don't think anyone would have a problem with it.
Because
But
he's
it's because
benefiting then
it's
from
happened
his
the other way
teammate being
around.
better.
It's happened the other way around a lot. Yeah. Which has helped him win the world championship. Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
if
I'm
he
sure.
comes up from behind, he always like, right, Sergio Perez's name is. He's like, right, Perez, move out the way for him. Don't fight him, whatever. And he's like, yeah, okay, it's fine. A lot of times. And it's like the one time they've asked it the other way around. And he's got nothing to play for. So it's like, basically, if he had swapped it, he's helping his team secure a 1-2 finish in the World Championship. Whereas it might now be a 1-3, depending on the next race.
Yeah.
Which is like a big achievement, So like it's just funny to see that sort of attitude coming out. But yeah, pretty much the same as Webber and Vettel back in the day that it is. I think that was called Multi-21, if anyone knows about F1, but Multi-21. But that was a big one as well. Speaking of Vettel, he's actually retiring this weekend. So
fair.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to the relevant stuff. So we've done a bit on Ronaldo. Perhaps we'll talk about that in a bit more detail after the second part comes out, because who knows what might be discussed in the second part. That would be good to perhaps revisit. We didn't say, but as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like hearing us ramble on about this random stuff. Obviously, we will talk about the Swans today, but we are going into a little bit of a break because of the World Cup. So focus will be switched to that while we are doing podcasts. Hopefully got a couple more guests coming up in the next couple of weeks as well. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to make sure you keep up to date with them, click the big red subscribe button. You can click the bell icon as well, because that will make sure you get a notification when the videos release. And if it's Spotify or another podcasting service, you can follow us there as well. And if you're feeling kind, leave us a rating. That would really be nice to see. We would appreciate that. If you want Wales to win the World Cup, leave us 5 stars. Okay, so should we do Swans or World Cup first?
Let's do World Cup first, is it?
Okay, we'll do a little
get into the mood.
Then. So let me add this to the stream. If you are if you're listening on one of the podcast services, obviously you can't see our little World Cup predictor we got on the screen, but we will talk you through what we're going to select. But before we start selecting the group stage winners and runners-up, how are you feeling? It starts Sunday, correct?
Sunday, yeah.
How are you feeling like ahead of this? I still finding it like I just wish it was in the summer.
I know.
I'm going to be working
so
for
weird.
a lot of it, and the times is just like 10 o'clock in the morning. One of our games is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's on the Friday, isn't it? Around it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
And it's the time of year where I can't really book time off work, and it's like if I did want to book time off work, I want to book it off for like you'd want to book it off Christmas time. I would imagine a lot of people would.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's really weird. I was thinking the other day though, I'm a bit torn because if it wasn't in Qatar and it wasn't in December, like would Wales have qualified? Would it be different? Like, who knows?
Well, in
like,
theory, like it would just be next summer, would it? Or would it have been the summer just gone?
No, it would have been summer just gone. Yeah.
So the qualifying would have. We were delayed in it because of everything that happened in Ukraine. It got delayed a bit, but we would have qualified still the same way.
I know, but we don't know with like players being fit and like the Ukraine thing as well. Like we would have had to have played because we beat Austria in the first round, didn't we? It was Austria, wasn't it? Yeah, we beat Austria in the first playoff game, and then we played Ukraine. It should have been, I think, we played Australia on like a Wednesday night or a Thursday night, and then yeah. What did I say then? I said Austria, didn't I?
You said Australia the second time.
Oh, sorry. I meant Austria. It's because I've just finished work. My head's fried. So, yeah, if we'd beaten Austria, I was going to say it again, Austria on the Thursday night, we should have played Ukraine on the Sunday. Now, would, like, Bale have been fit to play 2 games in that close time?
He seems to magically be fit for Wales, though, doesn't he?
I know, but you don't need, I think I got a feeling that it's just worked out the way it's had to work out for Wales to qualify. Even though it's like quite selfish, I think everything's just worked out for Wales to get there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how they planned it.
I know. I just think it's worked out so well for us. Quite selfishly, I think just like you'd take it, wouldn't you? If someone said the World Cup's not going to be in the summer, it's going to be have to move to Christmas, but Wales will get there. Be like, yeah, 100%, I'll take that. But apart from that, I just think it is really strange that it is in December. It's hard to get up for it. It doesn't feel like it's a World Cup. I guess it won't until I watch the first game. I think when it kicks off, you'd be like, right, we're into World Cup now, and then like the next day there's like 3 games. There's 3 games a day for ages, or 4, and then I think like you'd proper get into it then, and you'd be like, oh shit, we're in a World Cup. But you kind of gotta psych yourself up and be like, it's a World Cup. But I think it would have been class if it was in the summer and Wales were there.
They're on about expanding it, and they to like more teams next time.
Yeah, they should do get more teams there.
Yeah,
and I'm all for like trying to expand it to different parts of the world. Like the South Africa World Cup was brilliant. I thought that was really good. The Brazil one was good. Yeah, Brazil had some before, and but
yeah,
they
but if you're going to rotate
Africa.
around the continents, that's a sort of that makes sense.
Yeah, but this one, it just like well, we know we've talked about it enough from where it is. But I just think it's all been done in the wrong way. I'm more for if it has to go to another country and we have to change the times. If it goes into like Australia or New Zealand or Japan or something like that, and the times are funny, then I'll take that because it'd be good just to have it in a new place. But it just doesn't feel like that at the moment. It's just like, it just still feels like it shouldn't really be there.
Well, I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come out on that subject over, forever, I guess. Okay, let's get stuck into predictions then. We're starting with Group A. So Group A, we have got Qatar, obviously the hosts, Ecuador, Senegal, and the Netherlands. Wow, that's probably a nice group to have if you're one of the big teams.
Oh yeah, it's a good group.
Do you think we're both going to agree on the obvious winner here?
Yeah,
the Netherlands. I was going to say
they'll get through that group. I think they'll win.
And runner up. I've got my idea, but who do you go?
I think Senegal will finish second.
Yeah, I was going to say Senegal as well. They got a decent team. They won Africa Cup of Nations, didn't they?
Yeah, is Mane fit though? I would say he was injured, wasn't he? But I don't know if he's.
I've not seen their team.
Yeah, Mane.
They got other decent players though. But I mean,
they got like Koulibaly, plays for Chelsea. He's good.
Do you think the home
Mendy?
Like sometimes the home team does better than expected just because it's the home team. Do you see Qatar like having that happen to them?
No, I thought
like Russia when it was in Russia and it was like Russia all of a sudden were class.
Yeah, I think it does help, obviously having a home crowd, but I can't see it. Not that I know much about Qatar.
Brazil, is it?
Yeah, not that I know. Yeah, really. Yeah, not that I know much about Qatar, but are they the lowest ranked team in the competition?
I don't think they would have if it wasn't for the fact that they were hosting.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Group B, we should know all about this one. England, Iran, USA, and Wales.
Well, we got to say Wales is going to win that group.
Are we actually going to say that?
Yeah. When I did this, like the personal one, I put Wales in winning the group.
Okay, but are we doing this realistically or what we want?
Realistic.
Let's do it realistic, right? Because if we're going to go into the knockouts, we want to have the teams that we think are going to be there. So I don't think Wales will win the group. We're going to talk about the battle of a runner-up after, but I don't think they'll win the group. Well, if you think they will, we'll do.
I'm obviously being biased. But it all depends on. I think it depends a lot on the USA game. If we beat USA in the first game, I expect us to beat Iran, even though we shouldn't take them lightly. And then England in the World Cup.
I think you're writing Iran off, mind.
No, that's what I said. I know we shouldn't take them for granted, but I think we can beat. I think we can win. We could easily lose the 2 games, and we'd be out. But I don't know. And England don't scare me at
They don't
all.
scare me either, but they should win the group.
They should win the group, but they should have won groups before, and they should have won games before in competitions. And I don't know. I guess trying to be neutral, realistically, they should win the group. So if you want to put England to win the group,
I just
I'll
think,
take it.
look, I'm hoping that they don't, and it'd be great if we can. I'm not sure. I think Iran is going to be a dark horse, not for winning necessarily everything, but for the group. I think they might.
They lost to
cause
someone
a few
recently, though.
problems.
Iran did.
Yeah, when was the last time Wales won a game?
No, but they lost to someone. I can't remember who it was. Oh God,
I did check
someone
the other
really
day.
low down in the rankings.
So did
Someone really
USA,
low
I
down. in the
think.
rankings. I think USA might finish bottom of the group.
Jordan Morris is going to score against Wales.
Oh, guaranteed. Well, what Abraham and Richard were saying on when we did the Seattle podcast, they didn't seem happy at all with the squad today. They thought like the feeling that I got was that they don't think it's going to be a good World Cup for them.
No.
But then when you look at their squad on paper,
it's only South Korea for Iran that they've really lost to recently.
Oh no, that's what it was. It wasn't that they lost; they only beat Nicaragua 1-0.
Yeah, so they only beat Nicaragua. Have you got? You can't see my screen, can you? Though you say it like, yeah, that it is right to pull that up as their last game, yeah. But then before that, they drew with Senegal and they beat Uruguay.
Yeah, away as well. They beat Uruguay.
Yeah, and in their run of recent fixtures, they've also. I did see a decent result, but I can't find it now. Most of their games they're winning, but they're not playing top teams. Sorry, yeah, most of these are not top teams. But yeah, out of the big ones, I guess Nicaragua, you could say 1-0. But we don't know what the squad was for that, do we? Or any of the ins and outs. I just don't know. They're not someone I feel comfortable writing off. But I don't know who will get second. I don't even want to write USA off, really. I feel like they've got players that can do damage. But I think maybe we'll put Wales second. Is it for? Yeah. I know, we got to, haven't we? We got to have the faith.
Yeah, look, it's one of them. Like I said, we could realistically lose every game, and we could top the group. It's a bit of an open group, that one, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a hard one from the outside to guess who's going to go through that group. But I guess you've got to back yourself against Iran and USA. You've got to.
Yeah. If we can keep our best players fit, we definitely got a fighting chance there.
Yeah.
So even if we get these the other way around, right, in any of these predictions, I'm calling that a success. Okay, so Group C: Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland.
Argentina to win the group, surely.
Yeah.
It's been a naughty group as well, though. Like Mexico, Poland, not easy games.
Yeah. What about the other one then? Who do you think? Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Poland?
I'm feeling more Poland than Mexico. I don't think Saudi Arabia will be near it, but I
don't think so.
Feeling more Poland than Mexico.
Poland been quite poor recently, though.
They done a job on Wales.
That's true. They did. I'm not sure. Yeah, Mexico, like, I feel might be better suited, and Saudi Arabia actually, to the conditions they're going to be playing in.
Yeah, it is a factor. That is a big factor, to be fair. I don't know. I just think Poland had a bit too much when I was trying to think. But I'm happy to go with Mexico if you want. It's going to be tight between them.
We'll go with Poland. We'll have a nice European bias going through you.
That game, though, Poland-Mexico is the big one, though, isn't it? To decide who's going to qualify from that group. Could go either way, to be fair.
Yeah, it could go either way. Okay, Group D: France, Denmark, Tunisia, Australia, I think, for me.
Are you ready for this?
Oh, here we go. You're going to say France not going to win the group?
I think Denmark are going to win this group.
That's a big shout. I'm going to put it in just because it's a big shout. I don't agree with you. I'm just saying that right now.
on all my predictions I've done, I think Denmark are going to win this group.
You are putting France second, though, yeah.
Yeah. I'll put them second.
I personally think it'd be the other way around, but I'm happy to go with this because it's a big shout, and if you get it right, fair play.
I just think realistically, like when you go through the groups and you do like right Holland, England, Argentina, France, and then you pick Brazil and all the other teams to win their group, it never pans out like that.
That's true.
Someone always, one big team always flops in the group, doesn't it, or in a World Cup? And I was looking at it, and I think maybe France. I think they won. I know they won the World Cup last time. They were not good in the Euros, and Denmark were brilliant in the Euros. They should have beaten England really in the semi and got to the final. I think
the next one could be the
Denmark.
same.
Go for
Group
it.
B: Spain, Germany, Japan, Costa Rica. I'm not sure how good Spain and Germany are these days.
Yeah, this is a hard group, but going based on the Euros, I thought Spain were brilliant, and they were unlucky not to beat Italy in the semis. They thought they were really good.
I would say Spain over Germany. I think Germany have been a bit hit and miss.
I'm glad you said that. I was thinking Spain to win that group.
If you're saying about I would say Germany to be runner-up, yeah, but if, like you're saying, it never pans out quite as what you expect, I would feel like they are one of the big teams at risk of not going through.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I just think recently, the last couple of years, like they have not been the same Germany that, since they won the World Cup and all that.
They weren't very good in the Euros either, Germany.
Are we going to go with Germany, or are we going to maybe upset Japan? Costa Rica, I don't think we'll have enough.
No, I don't think so.
They had a good time last time, didn't they? Or one of the recent ones where one last one was the one before. What's his name? Joel Campbell.
Oh yeah,
played for Arsenal and never played.
Yeah,
he had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy. Well, you can take the call on this one because
I don't feel confident to say Japan will get through.
Yeah, fair.
I feel like they could, but I wouldn't put them down. Like, if I'm putting a bet on this, then I would not. This is probably what I would pick. Yeah. So.
Yeah, fair.
But that's that would also be the lower odds, and like you said, it never pans out that way. So. This one is interesting. Group F: Belgium, Canada, Morocco, Croatia. Belgium would be favourites, but would they win the group?
I think they will. I think they'll win this group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll win this group. Yeah, I don't expect them to. I don't know. They always seem to not do well in a tournament. They find a way to lose in big tournaments, but I think they'll have enough to win that group.
And second place, do you know what? I think a lot of people put Croatia, but I feel like they might have a bit of a rough one.
I'm just worried about Croatia because I think like a lot of their like golden generation when they got to the World Cup final,
they needed to win that last one.
I think. I don't know. A lot of their players, like Modric, is old. I don't think Perisic is he in the squad. I haven't seen the squad, to be fair.
Where did they got to the final today?
They got to the final in the World Cup, didn't they? In France,
the Euros was the semis.
They get to the semis? No, they didn't get the semis in the Euros. Because the semis was.
Sorry. When am I thinking they played England? And that was the semis.
That was the World Cup semis. That was
it. My mistake. I was getting crossover. I feel like that was their moment. They had, if they were going to do it, that's when
that was their best chance.
Best team. But I feel like they got to regenerate a bit now.
I don't know if you look. I was just trying to look at their results though. Their results in the Nations League, they were comfortable. They won. They won quite a lot. I think they done quite well. Yeah. You see, they beat Denmark away here and home. Drew with France and beat them away. So they must, they can't be that bad.
Yeah, if they were to go out though, Morocco and Canada, would they be the ones would?
I think
we've been quite straightforward, haven't we, so far?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see. I don't know. Looking at that, I can't see Canada or Morocco beating Croatia.
Canada, I think, got up and coming in there, but Morocco again playing in the conditions that we're used to it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. They have enough quality. I don't know. I don't think
All
they have
right,
enough quality.
we'll stick with Croatia. I think like
I was worried about them. I was trying
if
to
they
think
get
about it,
knocked
but
out, and
then
I'm going to blame you completely.
looking at their recent results, though, like
Yeah,
they
but if you
seem
look at
right.
England's recent results, they're getting knocked out, and Wales.
I told you Wales can top the group.
No, but Wales as well. They haven't been playing.
Yeah,
recently.
I know. We haven't been. Yeah.
Okay, Group G: Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. Now this is probably a bit tricky.
Yeah,
That's
this is
tricky.
hard.
I think
hard.
easy winner. You'd think.
Yeah.
I think Brazil have to win that group. Second place could be any of them.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't even know who I want to back. I don't have faith in like. I think every time I think Switzerland are going to have a good time, they're rubbish.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, this is a hard one. So, I think
Cameroon.
Yeah, I'm feeling that.
Yeah, well, we only got Senegal from like Africa at the moment. I feel like usually there'll be a little bit more success. They're not pushovers, are they? We're just being a bit like we see a lot more of the European teams, and everyone knows about the Brazils and the Argentinas.
Yeah.
I think Cameroon are decent at the moment.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I was trying to look for some of the results, and I think Switzerland done all right. They were in League A in the Nations League, and they done all right. They stayed in there, and they had Portugal, Spain, and Czech Republic in their group.
Yeah, it's actually looking at Cameroon's results, I've convinced myself against going for them. They lost to Uzbekistan.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Swiss. I'd edge more Switzerland than Serbia.
These results don't really mean anything.
No, they don't. They don't mean because it's ages ago as well. Now all these players have been through, like a half a season of football as well.
And it knocked like Ivory Coast out of the World Cup qualifiers. So Ivory Coast team that regularly get there and do decent.
Yeah.
What about Serbia? I don't think we can write Serbia off.
No, they cruised through their group, but they were in League B, so they've gone up to A now. I think they cruised through. There's Sweden, and I can't remember who else they had, but they got Mitrovic when up front.
Could score goals for fun.
Could get some goals if you got a goal scorer.
So what do you reckon?
It's going to be between Serbia and Switzerland, I think. It'll be one of those.
So you're writing off Cameroon then?
Yeah. I my instinct was Serbia or Switzerland. I'm going to say, I'll back Serbia because they got a goal scorer.
Okay, we'll go with Serbia. Group H: Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, Korea Republic. I think Uruguay go through because I got them in a sweep.
I think Uruguay win that group as well.
I wasn't going to say win. I was going to say Portugal win.
This was another one where I was thinking they might not go through.
I mean, that'd be a bit after that interview, Ronaldo and all that.
I know. I think it'd be class if they go on and win it. But, like when I was looking at it, thinking which of the big teams might not go through the group. I think Portugal definitely could be one up there, I think.
Who do you think drops them out? Ghana, is it?
No, Korea, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I
fancy Ghana over Korea.
Nah.
Andre Ayew's going to score.
Oh, he's about 40 now, isn't he?
Jordan, then.
I don't know. Korea got Son, didn't he? Goal scorer.
Is he going, is he?
Yeah, he's going. He had a fractured cheekbone or something.
Son has had an awful season, though, so I wouldn't even, like... Is that a good, like... I don't know. He's rubbish this year. I'll
let you overrule me on this one, because I think I've had my way on Serbia and
Yeah,
Denmark.
but I was going to say Portugal and Uruguay. So if you want to say Portugal's not going through, I'm happy to. Well, I just can't see them dropping out. I think they got a good squad,
Back yourself.
even without Ronaldo.
Make the call. If I was, I'd be tempted to put Uruguay and Korea first and second, but
right, we've got on record. He's made one of these dodgy calls with France finishing second, haven't you? But...
You watch this; it'll be absolutely nowhere near.
Well, I'm putting Portugal first. I think they're gonna do all right. I can't, unless there's so much animosity in the camp because of the Ronaldo thing, maybe. But we'll see. I've clicked right. Okay, so we've now generated the bracket for the next round. So that puts based on our selections, which I should have read out, but I've gone past it now. So hopefully you can remember when we go to each group. Anyway, round 16, match 1, Netherlands against Wales. I think we lose, to be honest. You're going to say win.
No. If we have it's only because I think we'll be where England are playing against Senegal, and we might beat Senegal. But I think Holland beat us if we get Holland.
Yeah, I'd say Netherlands. Argentina, France. Now that's a spicy one.
See, and then because France finished second,
I don't even know. Like that's hard. I feel like it's Messi's last chance, isn't it?
I'd be back in Argentina.
It is Messi's last chance. I feel like France have got a lot of good players. How do you fit them into a team?
I know I'm writing France off a little bit, but they've still got a class squad. They could win it, but I don't know. I just got a feeling.
All right, we'll go Argentina. England, Senegal. I'd probably say England.
Yeah.
Going to get a nice run again, like they always do, and then capitulate.
I know they will have a nice run again, probably.
Denmark, Poland. Denmark. And
I think England get Denmark again then in the next round, see?
Yeah.
So they could potentially have, if Denmark do win their group, they'd have Senegal, Denmark, and then Iran, Wales, and USA, and then be like the best team in the world, but not played any of the top 10 teams.
Spain, Croatia. Now I know I give a stick to Croatia, but I feel like they are the sort of team that could beat Spain there. But I probably would back Spain.
Yeah, I'll back Spain.
This is so cliche. There's one of these is if this happened, one of these is wrong, 100%.
Yeah, but this is why I thought Uruguay were going to win this group, and they'd be playing Serbia and Portugal be playing Brazil.
I mean, oh god, you have to say Brazil, don't you? But
I think Uruguay are a dark horse. I think Uruguay are a good dark horse in this World Cup.
Do you reckon they're going to knock Brazil out? Yeah.
Well, on paper, Brazil,
Cavani, you're going to do the job.
Yeah, Cavani, Suarez, and Nunes.
Nunes is going to be better than Lavezzi then, yeah? Because that used to be Cavani, Suarez, Lavezzi, didn't it?
No, Lavezzi's Argentinian, isn't he? Forlan.
Sorry, Forlan.
Yeah, Forlan.
My mistake. I was thinking of playing as Napoli on FIFA.
Napoli, yeah, Cavani and
the
Lavezzi.
Napoli Holy Trinity and Hamsik, was it?
Yeah, Hamsik.
Yeah, sorry, that's why I was getting Cavani, Lavezzi. Yeah, but yeah.
I don't know. Flip a coin.
All right, you go in Uruguay. I'm going to put Uruguay. How's Lee's call? Just putting that out there. Sorry, Neymar.
I think that's Portugal, Brazil, though. I think, or Korea, Brazil.
All right, well, look, we'll see what happens.
But I got to back Uruguay.
Match 7, so Belgium, Germany. Oh, that's another one. I think
good game.
I would say Belgium.
Yeah, I fancy Belgium.
And then Portugal, Serbia. I'd say Portugal.
In that game, I'd fancy Portugal, yeah.
Okay, this next round. Quarterfinal 1. Netherlands, Argentina.
Argentina.
Yeah,
in that game.
I'd say Argentina, I think. Netherlands are just hot and cold. Quarterfinal 2, Spain, Uruguay.
That's naughty. Uruguay.
I was going to let you choose because you backed Uruguay last time, so I wanted to see what you said. We'll go Uruguay. I'm not sure if I agree, but it's fine. England, Denmark. It probably would. Well,
Does it have to be
you know what?
England?
Actually, I reckon Denmark.
I think it's the revenge game from the semis in the Euros where Sterling dives and they get that penalty.
It's the redemption arc for Christian Eriksen. He's going to come back and like do really well.
They shouldn't. They were so lucky in that semi-final. England were against Denmark. My God. Yeah, let's go Denmark. Screw it.
Belgium, Portugal.
Belgium, I think.
I wanted to set up a Ronaldo Messi final.
We can go with Portugal if you want. Don't let me take all the.
Well, that's what I would like to see. Doesn't mean I think it's what's going to happen. I think Belgium's probably got a better team.
Can you imagine that Argentina-Portugal final? I didn't think of that. Can you imagine that?
That would be class. Because one of them is going to be like, right, I say one of you is like.
It's like the final. It's the Messi Ronaldo final of all time.
Arguing like who's the best. Well, go get
World
the World Cup trophy, and then one of you is. That's it. Full stop.
I think that would be amazing.
That's the end, though, isn't it? That is literally like, right, sort it out, boys.
I'd love to see it, and I think like either way, like if Argentina win the World Cup, even if they don't play Portugal in the final or vice versa, it would just be such a statement, wouldn't it? Like Ronaldo winning the World Cup or Messi winning the World Cup.
But they both get to the final, and one of them's guaranteed to have a World Cup trophy. It's like
that's mental. That would be. Oh yeah, that would be unbelievable final.
That would be like, right, okay, it's literally like getting sorted out tonight.
Yeah, like you have the debate. Everybody's had the debate for years, but it's literally like the final of the debate, like World Cup final.
Especially if one of them scored the winning goal and it was like a 1-0 and it's the one that scored it.
Yeah.
Imagine that'd be like the best World Cup final ever.
Or it was like
they both
4-3.
Get a hat trick and it goes to penalty shootout and they both miss their penalty.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine? Oh, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see that final.
Everyone else misses their penalty and it's those two left for each team. And it's like one of them scores, so can the other one match it?
I would love to see that
these
final.
Scenarios that are never going to happen.
Yeah, can you imagine like the build up of those two leading up to that final? Class.
Yeah, it would be crazy. Right. Argentina in the semi-final against Uruguay. I still say Argentina. I know you love Uruguay.
Yeah, no, I'd back Argentina.
The road stops here. Unfortunately, my sweep.
Yep.
Would lose. Denmark, Belgium. I'd go with Belgium.
I'd go with Belgium.
We're taking Belgium to the final.
I know. I don't know if Belgium gets to. I don't know if they get to the final. See, but this is where
we've decided they do.
This is where we've ended up.
Third place playoff: Uruguay, Denmark.
Uruguay. Yeah.
And then I guess we're going Argentina based on the fact that you don't think Belgium even get to the final.
Yeah, so I think Argentina might win it.
GOAT.
Yep, I'm happy with that.
I don't know where I'm submitting this to. Do they do like perhaps they'll do an overall, like what everyone thought.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, so I'll have to look back at that because obviously I haven't saved it anywhere. See how right we are when the World Cup starts progressing. We'll revisit it at the end of the group stage and see how many of the knockout games.
They're all going to be wrong. I won't be coming on the podcast if France have hammered their group.
We still have them to go through.
Yeah, true.
What if England get knocked out? We'll be like, yes. Yeah, it's what if it's USA and Iran that go through?
Yeah, can you imagine that? Yeah. Well,
it could happen.
Who knows? I think it's one of the most open groups.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the Swans. So we've got like 10, 15 minutes perhaps to talk about. There's only one match actually, but we're going to perhaps just discuss where we are halfway. So obviously they played Huddersfield away, and it was a 0-0, bit of a draw, bit of a could say disappointing. I think they were well in control. I think Bender made a top save right at the end of the match that kind of kept the point. Should have probably won the game. Couldn't really break the defense down, get through well enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like 4 draws in 5 games. Sorry, three draws in 4 games. with 1 defeat in the middle, or 3 in a row. No, I was right. It is 4 draws in 5 games. I don't know why the thing hadn't updated. 4 draws in 5 games. The last 3 games being draws, so it's kind of like a bit of a dud period before the World Cup. Hopefully, we can come back and pick back up. But it's always better to do the draws than loss.
Yeah.
So, where do you think we are going into the break?
Well, I would have taken it all day, to be fair. Like, if you'd offered me 8th going into the World Cup break, especially with the start we had, yeah, I'd have taken it all day. I'm quite happy with it, to be honest. If you look at it overall, obviously, like the start was rubbish. Then we had an unbelievable period in the middle, and then it's kind of tailed off again. So it's been so inconsistent. But then if you look at the bigger picture, I think you'd have taken it all day, especially the way the championship has been this year. To be 8th in the league, a couple of last-minute goals here or there. We've had some, we've conceded some. Yeah, I think it's probably about fair that we're sort of around that mid. You would have taken it. You'd take it mid-table, but to be 8th and not far off the playoffs.
Well, we're on the same points as Millwall, who are in 6th.
Yeah, I mean,
so we're not in the playoffs because of goal difference.
Yeah, we're taking it. But what are we like? Isn't it something stupid like 8 points off relegation and 7 points off the top?
It's quite tight, actually. Yeah, it's like
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, 8 points from Wigan, who are in 22nd. 10 points off Burnley, who are top. But like we kind of had our good form, and all of the teams that were in the playoffs at the time fell off a bit, and then now we've dropped off a bit. They've all picked back up and gone ahead again. It's weird, isn't it? Like, because it was Sheffield, Blackburn, Norwich. They all fell off a bit. Norwich is still a bit different, but they're still obviously up there. And Watford, like we obviously beat them. They were on a bad run under Bilic, and now they've started moving back up.
It's just mad. I think West Brom proper tailed off tonight under Steve Bruce, but I think they've picked up a couple of results lately.
3 wins in a row they've had.
Yeah, expect them to come back. The table will sort itself out. I think we're still not going to be near Burnley, Norwich, Sheffield United, Watford, and West Brom will probably come back strong. Even though I think they're probably too far down now to make a promotion charge, but they might still get in the playoffs.
Points off the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they'll make a playoff charge, but I think it's too late to run for automatics. But well, you never know in this league. But I think those teams there have got, in the long run over a season, I know it's all been up and down, but I think over the long run over the season, I think they will have enough to finish like above us. I think. So we said at the beginning of the year, like you sort of see us as a mid-table team at the moment. If we can push up and challenge for the playoffs, I'm happy with that. Honestly, I'd take it.
We're not consistent enough, are we? Really, to like do what we need to do every week. There's too many times where it's a bit too much of a bad start, or it's a good trait that we can come back into games, but there's been a couple where having a slow start has cost us, and then also a couple where not seeing it through at the end has cost us. And that combined factors where we are, isn't it, really? They're not the same level week in, week out, which I know most teams actually in this league aren't. But it's when you can reach near that level is when you're looking like the one of the two that's going to go up for sure.
Yeah, I think as well, looking at our season as a whole, I think like I don't think he really knew his best team at the start of the season. And I probably said this every podcast, but I think when he brought Ollie Cooper in that Stoke game, I think that changed the season. And then the massive factor is, I think we've talked about it as well, is the form of like Perot and Obafemi. I think if they hit the form that they were in last year, I think we're in the top 5, top 4. With the way the championship has been, considering we're like on the same points as the playoffs, I think if they had hit top form like they did last year, we'd be up there. So I don't think we're that far off, to be honest. Outside those top sides that we named, there's not many other teams I think that are better than us necessarily. I think we're pretty good at the moment, and I think if those two have been firing, I mean, we're lucky to have Perot and Obafemi in the Championship. I mean, if you look at that squad on paper, it's good enough to be top 10 at least, isn't it? But I think if they were firing the beginning of this season, then we'd be way up there.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're too far off. I think we get frustrated when things aren't going our way, but I don't think it's as that bad as what maybe a lot of people would make out. I've got some more stats that we can dive into. So in the XG to score goals, we are 10th with an XG of 1.48 each game. So that's not, we're 2 places ahead in terms of where we are on the league table for our goal scoring, for chance creation, if you like. 10th, so mid-table. For comparison, Sheffield United are on 1.95. And this one's interesting. Guess who's in second place?
What's this now for chances created?
So it's XG, isn't it? So it's expected goals. But
Expected goals.
It's a good way to like, if people criticize teams like, oh, they don't create many chances, there's something that people say about the Swans, pass around the ball, don't create that many chances. Yeah, XG is.
Oh yeah, I know.
There's a big algorithm around
XG,
it. I'm not quite sure, but it's like how likely you would score, essentially. So like how good is that opportunity, and should you get a goal as a result of it, and that gives you a higher number.
I know. I hate that stat, but
it's quite useful, to be fair. And it's quite accurate. I think it's used quite a lot now because of how good it kind of is proven.
No, I know.
Obviously, nothing's perfect, but I think it just highlights where, like if you get a penalty, I think the XG of a penalty is quite high.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So like if you score from outside of the box, like a worldie goal, that XG would be quite low because it's not necessarily a clear-cut opportunity.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's what it judges. Like, is it a 1-on-1? Is it like how close?
I know.
That's
you know what I'm like. You know what I'm like for stats. I just
yeah. But it's a good indication. I'm saying of
no. I agree. It is, to be fair. I get where it's coming from. It's just like it's not for me.
Second place, right, is West Brom. So it shows how poor their season's been because they're just not finishing. So they're on 1.86. Otherwise, it's quite, the top teams are quite up there. Stoke's quite high, probably a bit higher than they are in the league. And then the other one, though, is XG against, right? So that's goals against. Same principle, just the opportunities conceded. This might be a bit surprising, and I'm not really sure what it tells us. I guess we could talk about it. But we are 21st. So in theory, we should concede the 4th least amount of goals based on the chances created against us, which actually does make sense when you think about it, because if we got like...
Is it all we low down because we concede more goals? Is that what it means?
No.
Or we got the lowest?
No, because it's 1.24, which means on average, you'd expect 1.24 goals scored against Swansea per game.
Yeah.
Based on the XG of all the teams playing us.
Yeah.
So I guess it does make sense when you think about it, because if the team playing us has got like 25 to 30% of the possession, they probably do create a lot less chances than they create against other teams when they get more of the ball. And I think the problem is, and perhaps this is what is highlighted, is that they've got the low amount of ball, but they're still creating a damaging enough chance to get that goal, and then they'll go sit back.
Yeah.
So I guess that is highlighting that, really.
Oh yeah, and you've seen it. I mean, it's been so frustrating to watch sometimes when we've watched games, because it was a bit of a criticism because we would have all the ball and not really create anything. But it's so frustrating when teams then have limited chances and they seem to take them. Wigan is a good example. Like, they just had 2 corners, go 2 goals, and that was probably it for chances, or for big chances. And we saw all year, it was just like, I remember the beginning of the year, like the Luton game where we seemed to have the ball and do nothing, and they came forward a couple of times and had, scored 2 goals and had a good couple of other chances. But I think it's just, it does represent how we play, I guess.
Yeah.
So we don't give up a lot of chances, to be fair, but I think when we do give up chances, they are good chances, because teams catch us on the break.
Yeah, I agree. So like, even if that's one a match and then they can get it and sit back, it's still that's all they need sometimes, isn't it? because our defense in terms of how many goals we concede, it doesn't mean that many big ones. There's just two that come to mind, and that's Blackburn and Burnley. Otherwise, because even the games like we've gone behind, like the Reading, when we've gone 2-0 down, and Wigan, we come back. So it's not out to reach. But them two that I said earlier would be the ones that I would say the anomalies where it was a really bad performance and we did concede a few. But yeah, it's interesting stuff. It just shows where we need to definitely improve. Like the chance create, if you're going to go up, what I mean is like the chance creation, it needs to be better than 10th there in XG.
Oh yeah,
I know XG is not the be all and end all, but it shows why we are where we are, and perhaps why maybe Perot and Obafemi need to do a bit more.
Yeah,
create opportunities for themselves, get themselves in better positions. Yeah. Anything else to say on that then?
No. I think that's fair. I think what we want for next year is just more contribution, more goal contributions from Obafemi and Pro, I think.
Okay, so looking at halfway then, goal scorers, and Cham and Perot have got 5. Got Manning and Darlin, Ollie Cooper and Obafemi on 3. And then Matt Grimes, Ben Cabango, Jay Fulton and Cundle and Sorinola all have 1. So it's a bit of a spread. No one really taking a goal scoring by a scruff of the neck.
Yeah.
At all, really.
I think that's quite telling as well, like what we were just saying, like between Perot and Obafemi, they've only got 8 goals. And 2 of those are Perot penalties, aren't they?
Yeah, and between Cham and Ollie Cooper, who very rarely start together or play a full match together, or either both of them play a full match at all. They usually subbed off. They've got 8 goals.
Yeah.
And
Ollie Cooper alarming, really.
Come in like halfway through the season.
That's a massive. I know we've probably touched on this narrative too much now, but it's massive difference from last year. It's definitely something not quite right with those two, is there? With maybe they wanted to go in the summer, Obafemi nearly went to Burnley. I mean, what did they get last year between them? I think Perot got 20 plus, didn't he? And
they got over 30.
Obafemi got about 12, didn't he? So yeah, it's about 30 odd between them. And now they've only got 8 and 6.
Now it's like, are they going to get over 15 between them?
Well, they got 6 outfield goals between them.
Yeah, it's poor.
Yeah. I think for the caliber of players that they can be, I think that's quite poor.
You could add Manning, Darlin, Cabango, Sorinola as defenders, and they've had 8 goals.
Yeah. To be fair, it's quite spread, but yeah, you want your front.
It's good to have a spread. It's like the complete opposite problem that we've had recently, where it's like, we're relying too much on McBurney, we're relying too much on Andre Ayew, we're relying too much on Brewster, or last season Perot. Now it's like, we can't get a striker to score. They're not scoring enough. It's like literally the opposite, which is weird, but I guess I don't know what you prefer, to be honest, because if it's one player they get injured, that's a problem. But if it's everyone, at least someone can chip in.
And that's just what I'm saying. I mean, like,
a lot of opportunities. So.
It is good to have a spread, because if you have that spread across the team, like, a couple of midfielders pitching in with goals, and I said that last year, I was like desperate for like a goal scoring midfielder, and Cham coming up with 5 and Cooper coming up with 3. That's perfect for a midfield. And then your defenders, Darlin, to be fair, and Manning's got some good goals. That's class. If you have your strikers firing on all cylinders as well, that's like a recipe to get promoted, isn't
it? Couple of other things I want to pick up on, because we perhaps talk about who our players of the season so far are. Key passes per game, on average, this is 1.8 is the highest for Ryan Manning, a 1.4 per game for Matt Grimes, and then Luke Cundle's on 1.1 in 3rd place, so he's having a good impact.
I will say, like, with Cundle, I think he's been quite underrated. I'm guilty of it myself. I tend to forget about him, because I think of Cooper and Cham and Obafemi and Perot and Patterson, and I just think, who's going to start? And then I always, when you're doing the fan hub prediction for the team, and I always forget about Cundle. I don't know why, but I think, and every time he plays, he's been brilliant, and I think Martin really likes him now. I think since he came into the team, I think Martin likes to play him quite a lot.
Yeah, he's definitely been in and around there a little bit more recently. And then look at assists as well. We've got Grimes on 5, Manning's got 2, and Cham's got 2. Soranola's got 2, and then all of these are on 1. You've got Cooper, Cundle, Norton, Latabodia, Nathan Wood, and Michael Obafemi. Joe Perreault hasn't even registered an assist.
I know. It's quite scary. He's dead. It's like to what he was last year.
Yeah.
It's got to be something in it, isn't it?
He needs to have a little bit of a break, reassess himself, and come back in the same form that he was in last
I genuinely think the break is going to be good for us. I think. I guess it all depends how teams handle it and how we start after a break. But it is only a month. You keep thinking it's really long, but it's only a month. It's going to go really quick because it'll start back up while the World Cup is still on, won't it? So and we're only really missing Cabango and Ollie Cooper, I guess. Joe Allen's been injured for a lot of time. So all the rest of the players that are at home resting. Manning didn't go, and Cham as well, sorry. That's going to be a big miss, actually, if they go quite far. Or if he comes back and he's not quite fit. But apart from that, all the team there are going to have a rest. They'll probably get back in training quite regularly. They'll rest up. I think we might be good for the break. I know it'll be the same for the rest of the championship, but I think with the way that we play as well, a break in the middle will be beneficial. I know people said about Leeds, didn't they, when COVID stopped the season, that helped them when they got promoted because they tend to burn out at the end of the season because of the way that they play. I think, I think it'd be good for us to get players back fit as well.
Who do you think then halfway? Who is your halfway player of the season so far?
Ooh, it's a massive shout, right? And I think it's hard not to pick like Grimes, and I think Manning's been outstanding this year. Like he scored some goals and he's been brilliant, and we do miss him. And Grimes, like when you saw he was out of the squad, but I've been banging the drum for so long. I think Ollie Cooper's been. I think he's been amazing. I think he changed our season when he brought him in that Stoke game. From then on, we went on that big run, and I just think he's been brilliant. I think I would give it to Ollie Cooper.
Yeah, but he's no Johnny Williams, is he?
Yeah, let's not go there again. Yeah, but Johnny Williams has been in the squad before, and played 5 years ago. So yeah.
Sorry, it was no dig at Ollie Cooper. It was we got questioned for not comparing. We said Ollie Cooper should go to the World Cup instead of Johnny Williams, so that's what that was about, basically. Anyway, I still double down on that. Just saying.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
Argue with me all you want. My arguments are, in my opinion, valid, but in your opinion, they're not, and that's fine. Okay, so I'll probably say Ryan Manning because I think when he wasn't there, I torn between him and Grimes. It might change by the end of the season, but I think Manning's just been outstanding, and I think because of the inefficiencies we might have at wing back, he just highlights what we could do if we had that position sorted out. When he's there, he's really good, and it's like awful news when he's not there. Like I really worry about the wing back positions when he's not one of them at the moment. So I think he's had a really good season, and I gave him a bit of stick last year, and he's come and responded quite well. So I've got to give him credit for that. So fair play, keep it up.
Yeah,
keep it up. Right, we'll end it there then, just over an hour. So thanks all as always for coming along. We didn't have a game today with the team prediction selection thing, but obviously there's no Swans games now for a couple of weeks, so we'll bring that back in due course. Looking forward to the World Cup, seeing how bad our predictions for the group stages are, see what giant killings and shock knockouts there are in group stages, and look forward to seeing if Wales can do well and do perhaps better than I expect them to do. But I think getting here is an achievement, so it's not like I'm trying to write them off or put them down. I just think when was the last time we got here, so just enjoy it, I guess. And if it means we got in the group stages, at least we were here. Obviously we all want more, but we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, thanks for joining, Lee. Leave us all your thoughts in the comments on the World Cup, on Ronaldo, on the Swans halfway point of the season, and we shall see you in the next video. Have a good one and catch you again.
See you soon.